Now, Second World War veterans who fought in the Pacific will be remembered today on the 80th anniversary of VJDAY. Despite war ending in Europe in May 1945, thousands of Allied troops continued fighting in the Far East. Well, our royal correspondent Laura Bundock is at the National Memorial Arboretum, where commemorations are taking place later. Laura, over to you.
A very good morning from the Royal British Legion's National Memorial Arboretum, and this is the area they call the Far East Corner, a section dedicated to the efforts of those who fought and suffered, of course, in the Far East. And behind me here, a number of memorials, including the Changi Lich Gate, which stood at the notorious prisoner of war camp in Changi, where thousands and thousands of soldiers died. It was brought back here as a permanent installation to ensure their memories live on. And it is here that the King later on today will be leading the national commemorations. He will be walking along here and seeing some of the memorials, including a section of the Burmese railway as well. Well, one person for whom the Changi camp means a lot to is Gurkha Kadak Chetri. Let me bring you in now. Good morning to you. Your grandfather, you're a third generation Gurkha. Your grandfather, also a Gurkha, but spent time in Changi. Tell me what you've learnt about him and his experience.
Okay, good morning to you. My grandfather was captured along with other forces who were currently at that time serving in the Far East. He spent 3.5 years on the Japanese captivity and then got released once the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing took place.
And what have you learned about his time while being held prisoner?
There is not much from my grandfather himself. Perhaps, like other veterans, he didn't want to talk about his time. But from hearing from my family members when I was growing up, before I joined the army, I used to hear some stories during his time as a POW. I joined the army back in 1992. After that, I decided to do some research about my legendary grandfather, and then that's how I managed to find his citation for his MBE, and that led to collecting his MBE medal from the Royal Palace in 2015.
Sadly, he obviously wasn't here to receive it himself. What did VJDAY mean to him, do you think?
I suppose it's a bittersweet moment for him, a mixed emotion. Certainly I can imagine, having gone through 3.5 years of brutal treatment from the captors. Thinking back, yes, there was a bit of a relief, a massive relief for him as a leader, who was in charge of some 1,500 men under his command, and perhaps, deep inside, maybe a bit of a joy. I don't know whether they consider maybe victory as such, but yeah, certainly a mixed emotion.
And it's been called the Forgotten War. Did you get a sense of that from him and from those who knew him directly, that there were celebrations in Europe, there was focus on Europe, but yet this aspect of the Second World War was overlooked?
I believe so. Obviously, this is just reading and hearing from others. Yes, the focus was pretty much on the European mainland. When people were, perhaps, partying on the street, over there in the Far East, my grandfather, as well as all those who were involved in the campaign, for them, just another day to get through.
And just briefly and finally, you're part of what's going on today. You'll be laying a wreath later. For you personally, with this connection, what's the significance of VJDAY?
It is so important. I can't even describe in words. Later on, as part of the commemorations, I'll be laying a wreath in this corner later, in memory of all those in the Far East, including my great-grandfather.
Kadak Chetri, thank you very much indeed. An important day for you and for so many others. And of course, the veterans themselves are dwindling in number, but there will be around 30 of them here a little later on themselves. There'll be commemorations here starting around midday with the national 2-minute silence, after which the King will be here and will be leading the nation's commemorations.